Hello, welcome back to the Financial Fitness channel from the cold winter Netherlands. Today is an unusual video and it's mainly about gold, but if you want, of course, you can replace it with Bitcoin, but everyone agrees that classically gold has a monetary role. This is what the central banks are buying. It is possible to manage the base of a new monetary system with it. And in Europe, for example, most countries have distributed their gold reserves fairly well in proportion to their GDP. So, in the first stage of inflation, a housewife thinks that although she will need a frying pan soon, she will buy it later because it is expensive right now. In the second stage, she thinks that although she needs one pen, she would rather buy two because it will only be more expensive later. We are at this stage now. And in the third stage, although she doesn't need a pen, she doesn't need a tool set or anything, but she would rather buy it because she would rather have her money in debt than in the currency of the government, which they call money. In this stage, everyone learns what inflation is, that the government can print unlimited currencies called money, and classically, that is why gold holds its value, because the government can't print it. And when the demand for it is the greatest, then the supply is the smallest, and this is also reflected in its price. There is also an aspect of this that paper or electronic currency can be printed essentially without limits, which is why it loses its value. On the other hand, gold has to be mined, so it requires energy. But how much energy? How much work does it take to mine gold? Now, I could give you a figure. It costs so many kilojoules of energy per ounce or something like that, but you would forget it, and that would be the end of this video. In order to understand this better, I need to extract gold by some method and show what it takes. I will then combine this with building relationship, adventure, and exploring another country. Let's do it. Welcome to New Zealand. Well, we have arrived at the scene of the crime. We are somewhere about 4 or 5 hour drive south of Nelson on the west coast in the South Island. We climbed up in the stream bed for about 15-20 minutes. You should know that I am actually here to visit Zoli. Some of you have already met him at the first club meeting. He was there as well. Hello, I'm here. He's the technical and legal expert of this gold mining, so he knows everything about it. He also brought a sample to our first meeting, a gold sample which he found here. So this whole world is absolutely fascinating. And now I'm here trying to help him, but it's already became clear to me that I will be practically only be in his way. I try not to hinder him, and the poor man even has to take care of me. I try to pick up the thread to learn and show it to you. But let's take a step back. I will zoom in a bit so we can understand what we are doing. So here in the mountains is the gold. In the past, multiple mines operated here as well. For example, in the small town of Reef Town, you can also visit a gold mining museum. And when the heavy rain comes, it washes the gold into the streams, and that is what we want to find. There are many ways to find gold. You can do the classic panning with this plate. You can use a slush box, which you will find out later. You can go with a metal detector, you can dive, you can use a sort of vacuum cleaner and then filter that material, but that's not so legal. Maybe, but you need a mining permit for that. Okay, this requires a separate permit, yes. So there are many different methods. I will try to learn the process, then show what I do, show the details. That's the point. Obviously, we are only scratching the surface of the many possibilities, but I hope it will be clear what we do. We try to think as gold does. Where I would be if I were gold? Where would I hide? We are looking for places where the water can swirl behind the big rocks, for example, where the gold just sits down to the bottom but cannot come out. There is a better chance of finding it. And then we will see where we are headed. True? That's right. Good, stay with us. Your feet? We are fine, it's okay.
Okay. Ez alatt takarizki.
There, listen, this is the good stuff that is so sandy. Well, after a day or two of practice, you can get used to this penning quite well. The point is that the lighter materials are washed away by the water through hand movements, and the gold, which is heavy compared to them, gets stuck on these ribs. When at the end of the process only such black sand remains, this is iron sand, it is definitely a good sign. Then there are these little pieces in it. It's really there. I don't know if it shows on the camera, but it's really there. This is the slush box. The material goes through it, and if everything is fine, I will try to find it. There is already a nugget of gold there and there. Well, that could be more sharp indeed. I try to explain how this slush box method works. Here the flow of water is produced by the stream itself instead of the hand movements. And at the beginning you see many ridges and further on many curved shapes with holes. All this serves to create small vortex movements in which heavy particles like gold settle down and the lighter ones are washed out. I'm trying to show this in slow motion as well. Maybe it can be seen, but of course it looks more clear through your own eyes. Hello, so yesterday we had a bit of success and today we are at another place called Lyell. By the way, there are 16 public places in New Zealand where anyone can search for gold, obviously within reasonable limits. And Zoli takes me to several places in this little time to let me see more things, see more miracles, and then right here in this river or stream we go up in the bed for another half an hour. And in principle, we should already see the gold here. The chance is about 50-50, so either we will or we won't. Later, we will also go to a place where you can't use cameras. This is the rule, this must be accepted, but I will definitely show you the result. I will say goodbye now, you will see pictures or maybe videos, and we will meet there. I will show you what we do. This is a very slippery part. Yes, wait, where should I step? Over there, right? Well, really easy, you see? Here we saw a big stone, put it aside, and we started to dig down by hand in its place and clean the material from there. You will soon see that we had a bit more success here. You can see it from far away. Yes, it's there. The other thing we did that day was to go below the water level because Zoli had found very nice nuggets here a week earlier. Here between and under the stones I also tried to clean and dig by hand to wash away the light floating material and to find visible gold. The water is very cold, 12 degrees, but I feel fantastic. It rained on the last day, so we processed and cleaned the collected material in the garage, so this bucket was full of sandy material. We know there is gold in it, but how do you clean it from all the sand, iron sand, and tiny rocks? Step 1 is to simply filter it. Here larger pieces can get stuck. Another solution could be panning, which you already know. This is what I did here for an hour. It also cleans the big part of it. The third solution is the slush box method. A closed water circulation system can be created in a garage, and it also cleans the material. But the big miracle for me was this. I lost my mind here. This is very imaginatively called blue ball. I will show you what happens here magnified and speed up as well. But the point is that the water flowing in from the side creates a vortex in this ball. There is an inverted funnel shape in the middle, and the excess water can drain out through a hole in the middle. And similarly to a tornado which picks up the roof, small things, even a cow, this vortexing water also drags the lighter sand or iron sand. Here you can see this process very nicely in slow motion, and the gold is so heavy that it stays in this bowl. What stayed in the middle and it's this colorful piece, reddish color, you can see it enlarged here. It is called garnet, a crystalline mineral group. It is worth looking to all this in 50-60 times acceleration. Here the fine material flows in, and the water that creates the vortex enters through this hole. Then you only have to wait for about 30-40 minutes while you see that the small pieces are sitting on the edge and stay there. This is gold. Afterwards, these fine particles can be blown into a small area and sniffed up. Here are the small nuggets I showed you before, and after washing, all that's left to do is drying. This should not be done too intense, because the gold can jump out. Here you can see the result, the small nuggets and the finer particles separately. That is about 2 grams of pure gold. Mission completed, I can travel home. I'm already here in Auckland after the first flight. I will also show you some clips. The point is that, of course, yes, if you come out here with an expert friend who knows what he's doing, knows what to look for, he has the right technique, then you can find some gold with several days of hard work. But obviously, that's one of the most unprofitable methods. It is not the most efficient method. It is not an industrial extraction. I hope that I managed to show, at least partially, that it takes a lot of energy. It's hard to get there in wet clothes all the day, in difficult conditions, dig all day, move stones, and then process the material. That's a lot of energy. So you can't print gold indefinitely, unlike fiat money. If nothing else, I hope this video clears up that for you and you learned it. It is important to add that just a few days ago, the central bankers of New Zealand had a statement in which they said that it is a very good business to be a central banker because we just print money and people believe in it. So let's this be a warning to everyone. It's no coincidence I met some local people here and they said, "Yes, Peter, the gold is insurance, you know?" I said, "Yes, I know, I understand, so I hope you are thinking about it like that as well." I would also like to thank Zoli. I had a great time here. These few days were difficult and exhausting, but it was absolutely worth it. I was enriched with experiences that I will be able to tell even to my grandchildren for the rest of my life. New Zealand is beautiful. Travel here if you can. The danger is you don't want to go home. I've only seen a small part of it, but it's already amazing. For example, this cave with the glowworms, that was brilliant. You look up and it's like a starry sky, beautiful. And that's just a tiny little bit. So really compliments to Zoli, he looked after me very well, took care of me. I think it's time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video a lot. If so, please help my work by liking it, sharing it with others, and writing below how much you liked it, under which other stones would you have looked for gold and why. Please do it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This would mean the world to me. And then I say goodbye for now. The next 17-hour leg to Dubai is coming soon. Thank you for being here with me. Goodbye.